Welcome back. This audio is Money Vibration Reset. I was with my girlfriend at the time and we were walking across the street when we both saw at the same time a bunch of $20 bills blowing in the wind. Because we were playful and fun, we both ran for the money, pushing each other out of the way, trying to pick up the money to see who could get it first. We found $100 in 5 crisp $20 bills. Not a huge amount of money, but hey, $100 is $100, right? We laughed about it and we teased each other about how aggressive we both were to get the money like two kids playing a game. We laughed and then we thanked the universe for the gift. We talked about how we're aligned with money and how money flows to us easily and in unexpected ways. Another time I was in the store and I found $60. Since nobody was around, I thanked the universe for the surprise gift. Another time I won $5,000 in a random drawing at work. This doesn't happen every day, but it happens regularly. Occasionally in cash, but often in some other form of money such as gifts, trips, sponsorships, business deals, and so much more. Most people don't understand that any form of money is a gift and it's symbolic. Symbolic to your financial success or your financial struggle. Let me explain. I was in a fast food place for breakfast with my kids when they were younger. On the other side of the plastic plants that divided the eating areas, there was a man speaking very loudly, using a lot of colorful, explicit words. He was saying to his coworkers, "Why does this always happen to me? Why am I always getting screwed? No matter what I do, I always get screwed." With that money mindset and that money vibration, what do you think always happens to this guy? The universe says, "Your wish is my command." And the guy gets screwed again and again and again because that's his vibration. That's what he's attracting. How long will this guy keep getting screwed? Forever, unless he changes his money mindset and vibration. Now I'm guessing this guy will never change his money mindset and money vibration because he's unaware that it's happening. Like most people, they go through life sleepwalking and reacting to life instead of creating the life that would truly make them happy. This is one of the greatest secrets to life. You are in charge. You get to create the life that you are living, good or bad. You are more powerful than you could imagine. If you want something to change in your life, it's up to you to change the way you think, believe, and act. If you do that, anything is possible. When I ran across America, it was to illustrate the point that we are more powerful than we can imagine. If a 40-year-old guy who was never a runner can train for a year and then run across America, then imagine what you might be able to do if you put your heart, mind, and soul into something. I get it. Your dreams may seem so big and out of reach. You may want to be a millionaire, or you may want to travel the world or lose 50 pounds of body fat. Whatever it is, you can do it. There is no such thing as an unrealistic goal, but sometimes you might have an unrealistic time frame. Let me remind you of a few examples. Steve Jobs revolutionized technology in leaps bigger than most could even imagine, even in his field. The first iPod held 1,000 songs in your pocket. The Wright brothers were competing against a team of well-funded scientists and engineers, and yet these two bicycle mechanics won the race to the first air flight. One of my favorite stories is of actor Jim Carrey. When he was an unknown and broke actor, he wrote himself a check for $10 million and he kept that in his wallet to often remind him of his big dream. 10 years later, almost exactly, he got the parts of Dumb and Dumber and he was paid $10 million for that movie. How ironic is that? That particular movie is the one that made him the first 10 million. How about some everyday spectacular achievements? My friend Dave lost nearly 80 pounds by simply changing his mindset and adopting a few healthy habits. He ate healthy and he exercised every day. Nothing extreme, just tried and true healthy habits. How about some money success stories? Sandy is now debt-free and has money saved for the first time in her life. I have many clients who started their own business and now they're making more money and working less hours, giving them a much better lifestyle than any job they ever had before that. While others have 2x'd, 5x'd, and 10x'd their income. The difference between where you are and where you want to be is between your ears. It's your thoughts, beliefs, and your actions that you take or that you don't take because of those thoughts and beliefs. For example, many people want to lose weight and be healthy, and yet they eat huge portions of fried fast food, lattes, and supersized soda pop, and they don't exercise. What are the chances of being healthy with that kind of lifestyle? Absolutely zero. Many people want to be wealthy, yet they live in houses they can't afford, buy things they don't need, lease cars with huge payments, and rack up credit card debt to maintain a lifestyle they can't afford. Most people have a warped perception of money and lifestyle. I did too for most of my life. But when I started traveling the world full time, I saw how other cultures navigate life, and I started to see patterns, good and bad, and it changed my perspective about money and life. Oliver Wendell Holmes said, "A mind once stretched by a new experience can never go back to its original dimensions." Once you see another way of thinking and living, it changes the way you see the world. Once you see the world differently, you become different than you were before. All my life, I spent way more money than I made. The stress and problems from being over leveraged by millions of dollars, it never bothered me, and I thought this is how you get ahead in life. And that served me well until one day it didn't. Eventually, being over leveraged caught up with me in 2008 when I held a lot of real estate and the real estate market went through its biggest correction in history. Thankfully, I made it out with minimal losses and I avoided losing everything, but just barely. I share this with you because my journey here teaching you is in part because of the mistakes I've made and the mistakes I see so many other people making. Because I was fooled by the story that most people are fooled by, that we have all been sold. The same story that keeps 90% of people broke. Until you get excited about building your true wealth and financial freedom, it'll never happen. You'll be distracted by new cars, a bigger 4K TV, and buying crap you don't need and doesn't actually make your life all that much better. There's nothing wrong with buying things that you need when it's bought with the purpose. The problem is that most people buy things on impulse with a credit card debt just to make them feel better. Just like people eat for emotional reasons to fill an emotional impulse, people buy things to fill an emotional need and an emotional impulse. If you go to most people's attics and garages, you'll see crap that they don't need and they haven't used in a long time. They bought it on a whim and it ends up in the garage or the attic in storage because they feel guilty about throwing it out. Most people's credit card debt is from buying things they couldn't afford and they actually really didn't need. Then they carry that debt at a high interest rate and it becomes a habit. And they repeat that process of buying more crap they don't need and they can't afford on high interest credit. I'm not judging. This is the way I lived my life for 20 years. This is how I know directly, personal experience. To raise your money vibration, you must realize why you buy things so that you understand your motives and emotions about buying things. Why is this important? Because this affects everything else in life, and it is also a manifestation of your money vibration and your money mindset. To be wealthy, you need to understand why you buy things, because if you buy unconsciously like most people, you will always struggle with money no matter how much money you earn. This happens because you are unconsciously living out your past habits and behaviors. Why is that? Because the habits you have when you're making $50,000 a year are amplified when you make $500,000 a year unless you change your money mindset and your buying psychology, your money vibration. Let me give you a quick example. Kid grows up in the inner city. His family's living on food stamps, but he has athletic talent. A college recruits him, giving him a full ride. Then a pro sports team drafts him and pays him $2 million to start. What's the first thing this young guy does? He buys a $300,000 Lamborghini. Then he buys his mom a new house to get her out of the hood. That's not a bad thing. But then he buys himself a luxury penthouse. Then he buys himself a $150,000 Rolex watch. And before he knows it, he has blown through the $2 million that he earned and another $1 million in credit. And now he's more broke than he was when he was in college because now he's overextended by $1 million in bad debt. What happens when he gets injured? Or if he doesn't perform and they don't renew his contract? He's screwed and he'll lose everything. This is not an uncommon story. It happens to athletes, Wall Street hotshots, lotto winners, and people who inherit a lot of money or have a fast explosion of money. It happens to doctors, lawyers, CEOs, and tech company startups. It also happens to everyday people who get a large tax refund, sell a home, or get a raise. Most people will spend more than they earn, and this is especially true when you suddenly come into a lot of extra money. And why does this matter? Because if you get an unexpected $5,000, you're likely to spend that to buy a boat, add a deck onto your house, or buy a new car or book a vacation. Not that there's anything wrong with any of this if you are doing it purposely and it's in line with your wealth goals and dreams. But what happens to most people is that they blow through all of the money on something silly without a second thought, instead of taking a portion of it and putting it towards your wealth and freedom account and investing it in stocks or real estate, cryptocurrencies, or some other wealth producing asset. In no way am I saying that you should limit your happiness or live like Scrooge and not spend any money. But when you upgrade your money vibration code and beliefs, you will automatically think about what is best to increase your wealth and spend your money wisely that's aligned with your goals so that you are enjoying the life now and increasing your long-term financial wealth and freedom. What happens to people with a low money mindset and vibration? This is the sad truth. After a lifetime of just barely getting by, many elderly people are living on a pathetically small amount of money coming from Social Security and maybe a small pension, so that their last years of their life, they barely have enough money to put food on the table. Let me ask you this. Do you want to live the last 20 years of your life eating canned tuna fish and bread sandwiches? Or would you rather be traveling the world and living life fully? Wealth and freedom is not about sacrifice. You do not need to sacrifice to be wealthy, but you do have to live consciously towards creating everlasting wealth. Wealth that will give you an incredible life now and one day pass on to your family or donate to a cause so that you leave a legacy. One of the important ways to raise your money vibration is to be aware of the things you buy and why you buy them so that you can change your habits and raise your money mindset, increasing your wealth and financial freedom. Here are 11 deadly buying habits that keep you broke and struggling. You buy to impress others. You buy to keep up with friends. You buy to keep up appearances. You go shopping because you're bored. You have a habit of buying. You buy without considering the value or need. You buy to feel better. You let advertising and others influence you. You think more stuff will make you feel happier or appear rich. You buy with the false justification of, I deserve this. You buy because, why not? You only live once. Do any of these resonate with you? How many of these are you guilty of? There's nothing wrong with buying things. The problem is when you buy things to feel good or fill a need in the moment, but you sacrificed your future wealth and future financial freedom with purchases that sap your wealth and instead of increasing it. That's what most people do. And I know I've been guilty of most of these. You probably have too. We tend to favor 3 or 4 of these deadly 11 reasons that you're broke and struggling. Now you might be thinking, like a lot of people do, I don't want to live like a peasant, but you don't have to. But thinking like that was also going to keep you broke and struggling. Do you know why? Because it's a poverty mindset. The fact that you think that you have to give up something is a scarcity thought. The reality is that the only thing you're giving up is struggling with money and always being behind on your dreams and your bills. A wealthy mindset is not a mindset of excess and stupidity spending. That only gets you into financial trouble and keeps you stuck. A wealthy mindset is one that lives in abundance and intelligent spending that supports a great life now in the moment while you're growing your wealth and financial freedom for the future. Does that make sense? Living a great life now while also building your long-term wealth and financial freedom. Most people are broke because they have a low money vibration of scarcity, sacrifice, and impulse buying instead of a high money vibration of abundance and purpose. Let me give you a real life example. My daughter has a school friend and her family is always eating at fast food places, going to Starbucks and shopping. I know the parents and they don't make a lot of money. Their home is in need of repairs and they're driving around in old cars. It's obvious that they're struggling just to get by. But they keep living with the same bad money habits that keep them broke. They're smart people. They know that they have bad money habits, but they don't change it. Why not? Well, they live in a relatively wealthy neighborhood and maybe they want to appear to keep up with the other families. Maybe they're worried about what other people think. Or maybe like most people, they're just not thinking about their future. But all that it's going to do is keep them struggling. The reality is that nobody really thinks about anybody other than themselves. And yet we waste so much time worrying about what they think about us when the reality is that they're not thinking about us at all. We do this in part because it's leftover memories from when we were a child in high school when it seemed like what other people thought was so important to you. But if you could go back and talk to your younger self in high school, would you tell him or her something like, live the life the way you want, because being true to yourself is more important than what other people think. In fact, it's the most important thing at all. So let me ask you, why don't you give yourself that advice right now? Live your life so that you're being true to yourself and your goals. Since you're listening to this program, it means that you are trying to align yourself with your financial goals and dreams and become the person you're meant to be. The reason for sharing this with you is to make you aware of what is holding you back from true wealth and financial freedom in your mindset and perspective, because this is going to make a huge difference for you to go from where you are to a life of wealth and freedom. You must raise your money vibration by changing the way you think and feel about money. And if you don't, you'll keep struggling with the same financial struggles over and over and over. Until when? Until you raise your money vibration and change the way you think and feel about money. It doesn't matter what you know or what your education is or the skills that you have or anything else if you have a low money vibration, because it's always going to sabotage your financial success. When you empower yourself and live true to who you are and who you're becoming, everything will fall into place with ease and you'll manifest the life that you want and the life that you deserve. You control your destiny with your beliefs, your thoughts, and your actions. In the next audio, we're going to talk about the laws of millionaires. If you haven't already signed up for the full Money Vibration Code program, go ahead and click on the link on this page to get started with the special discount and join the family. In the full program, we go deep into reprogramming your mind for financial success. Everything will fall into place with ease and you'll manifest the life that you want and the life that you deserve. You control your destiny with your beliefs, your thoughts, and your actions. In the next audio, we're going to talk about the laws of millionaires. If you haven't already signed up for the full Money Vibration Code program, go ahead and click on the link on this page to get started with the special discount and join the family. In the full program, we go deep into reprogramming your mind for financial success.